Hello guys, I am back from another video. Today was about Deku was reincarnated into Minecraft. So, in the last video Deku, well, this is going to be a short explanation, but the short of it is, Izuku, after killing some members of this cult, which is, well, the pillager cult, or the illager, or whatever the hell you want to call it, cult, Ezekiel got in this brand new sweet armor, which is under his like stolen clothes of the Illager, Pillager, and Evoker. And so after wearing this brand new armor under his like fallen enemies' clothes and also stolen their weapons, Ezekiel got into the desert where Ezekiel met Olga, a supposedly zombie, which Ezekiel has a doubting suspicion that she's probably not a zombie. So, after, well, talking to her, Ezekiel told her that she's allowed to, like, join him in this, like, adventure. And so, they left the desert temple, which they raided, and also Ezekiel gotten some sweet gear out of that. And so, after doing all of that, they left the desert temple, and they're now on their way to a different area, or a different biome. And so, let's talk about what happens next. And also, before we actually start the video, I want all of you to wait until the end of the episode because it's gonna be a bit of like a well, something important for my next what if. Being what if I was in My Hero Academia, which it's going to be pretty confusing, but don't worry, it's going to be like in the end of the episode, it's going to be an explanation about it. Okay, good. So, let's begin. So, we're in a different perspective, and this perspective is in a large throne room where several pillager, illager, and evoker guards are there, and illusioners were right beside her, including some two brand new ranking soldiers, which they are ranked known as like bodyguards or like elite bodyguards, which they're covered in the same armor, or at least similar armor as to Ezekiel, like the one that's under Ezekiel's like, clothes. This one. So, they seem to be high ranking and wielding both axes, not really axes, they're more like halberds, which is basically like a mix of a spear, a scythe, and a spear, and they're wielding gigantic ass shields as they see a large, well, person or something. It's definitely not human at all, but it's not a Ravager. It seems to be made out of metal and has glowing red features as a person steps out. And this person seems to be a alchemist, kind of. He seems to be a evoker, but with white but except with like a white robe and almost like scientist type feeling, like he literally looks like a modern day scientist kind of, as he says this: "We finished a brand new creature that you requested, my liege," as a woman's voice was heard. "Yes, so what do you call this thing?" as he says this: "Well, we call it the redstone golem. A golem that's similar in strength, more like... Actually, not really similar in strength, more like stronger than those pathetic, villager scum's stupid iron golems. These redstone golems are fueled by the fires of a special type of redstone that we created, which we call corrupted redstone. It's especially made for taking down, low-level, well, villages. And the best part, it doesn't need to be fixed. It just regenerates." As the woman's voice says this: "Now, how about that village, or that other group of wait for a second, marauders that I sent out? What happened to them?" As he says this: "Well, apparently some of their members were attacked by a traitor. Don't worry, apparently he said that he, quote-unquote, destroy that little shit. As the girl says this. Not bad. Now, I want you to find out if there's an actual traitor among us. As he says this. Right on it. My redstone golems are quite smart after all. After all, I am your top scientist. As she says this. That's why I consider you as one of our best. Dr. Gasta. As he says this. Mind telling me why did you request this golem in the first place, my lady? As she says this. Well, it's obvious. I want to cause chaos. I want to destroy those pathetic villagers for disgracing our ancestors, calling us heretics. I want them to suffer. I want them to suffer 1,000 deaths. As he says this. As you wish, Lady Animosphere. As she says this. Thank you. Now, all of you can leave. As these guards and the scientist known as Gaster, which I named after like WD Gaster from like Undertale, but just ignore that. As they move on, going to their separate areas, as the two guards were just, standing by this woman by the name of Animosphere. As she says this. How impudent. So, let's go back to Izuku right now. So, Izuku is currently at a... Wait for a second. Sorry about that, it was just Discord, sorry. Anyway, so, Izuku is currently at a large, cave, mining away some ores with the help of Olga. As Olga says this, Hey Izuku, why are you trying to get all of these ores? As Izuku just says this, isn't it obvious? I need you to, get some armor for you, like maybe weapons, or as she says this, don't worry, I can just use my claws. As Izuku just says this, but your claws might shatter or something like that. So I decided to make you some weapons. As she says this, really? As Izuku just says this, yeah. So, after mining all of these ores, Izuku saw this bluish, almost dark bluish ore, which after Izuku mines it, it turns out it's lapis. And so Izuku decides to keep it for now as a souvenir, I guess. Or should I say, as a soon-to-be material for a special reason very soon. So, after they finished all of that, they started leaving. And so, after they left, it's almost nighttime, so Izuku decided to make a little camp. So, after putting up some fences for some of the mobs, which they can't really get over because, in game, anybody that tries to, jump over a fence knows that it's pretty annoying to try and, jump over. Unless you're a cheater and you have blocks or something like that, I don't know. So, after Izuku puts up these fences, Izuku tells Olga you can do whatever the hell you want. And so, she started getting ready to get some sleep, which Izuku thought it was weird because most mobs never go to sleep. Or at least, what he saw. So, wait for a second. So, Izuku starts making a little fire for him to make some dinner. So, Izuku grabs some steak which he gotten from a cow one time, and starts grilling it, creating some large, beefy steaks. And they're unseasoned, unfortunately, so because in Minecraft they don't really have salt or anything like that, so Izuku's just eating just regular, nothing else. Just put it on the grill, nothing more. There's no salt or pepper or anything, just that. So, Izuku chows down on this unseasoned beef. Izuku just says this. I mean, it's unseasoned, but it's still good. Izuku started chowing down. As while he's chowing down, he senses something in the background. Like somebody's watching him. So, while Izuku feels this presence, Izuku decides to stop eating his dinner and starts looking around the forest. In the tent, like literally, Izuku just stays in like the general vicinity of his like camp and starts looking around, feeling this presence. As Izuku looks behind him, as in the forest, Izuku sees purple eyes piercing into his soul as the eyes disappear, like in an instant. As Izuku says, "What in the?" As Izuku starts looking around for those eyes, as Izuku sees a tall woman in front of him. She has piercing purple eyes and seems to be wearing French clothing. As she says this, "Nice to meet you. So, you looked at me. That means you're mine." As Izuku starts getting ready to grab his axe, but his axe is not near him at all. As she says this, "Huh, another right axe. Never seen a design like this before." As she throws it away, as she says this, "Because you looked at me, you're mine." As she grabs Izuku by the neck, as Izuku just says this, "Damn it!" Ah. As Izuku starts punching her, trying to like, you know, incapacitate her, but she's completely dodging the attacks. As Izuku just says this, "How the hell are you this strong?" As she says this, "Because I'm from the end." As Izuku just says this, "The what?" As, well, wait for a second. As Olga appears, Olga wielding Izuku's netherite axe, which is apparently the name of that type of axe, as she stabs it, or like, slashes it at the back of this woman. As she says this, "So you really think that you can actually fight me down, you stupid sop?" As she looks over, as she sees Olga, as she says this, "Huh, another abnormal, like me." As she teleports away, disappearing in purple smoke. As Izuku catches his breath and says this, "What the hell was she?" As she says this, being Olga, "She's an enderman." Oh no. Did you stare at her? As Izuku just says this, "Ender what? What the hell is that thing?" As she says this, "Well, endermen are from the end, a mysterious dimension. We don't know what it is, but I heard it's pretty dangerous." As Izuku just says this, "You're telling me? What the hell? Like, she was seriously strong." As she says this, "So, did you look at her?" Or as Izuku just says this, "Yeah, I did. So what?" As she says this, "Oh no. That means she's..." As Izuku just says this, "What do you mean by that?" As she says this, "She will hunt you down. No matter where you are, you're just going to die by her hands. No matter where you hide." As Izuku just says this, "No way." As we go back to this Ender woman, as she says this, "So, this zombie abnormal is working with that boy, a reincarnator. That sounds interesting. So, I hope to meet again, mi amor." As she laughs. So, the next day comes as it's finally morning, as Izuku starts unpacking all of his stuff. I meant unpacking, like packing all of his stuff. And so, after Izuku puts up his tent and puts it in the chest, all of them start leaving. Only just both of them, because there's only two of them. So, after they left, they started moving through a vast field. So, after a while of going through this field of just grass and some trees, they feel cold. Almost like well, it's winter. As after they gone through the forest, it turns out that they're in a snow biome. Wait for a sec. As Izuku just says this, so it's finally snowing? As she says this, yeah, it feels kind of chilly in the snow, so I'm not really ready for this. Most of the time I live in a desert, so as Izuku just says this, maybe I can craft this. As Izuku grabs his crafting table or crafting bench, I meant bench, not branch. Ezekiel starts grabbing the wool that he gotten from sheep and started making wool armor, which I just imagine it from a mod. I can't remember the mod's name, but just imagine it from a certain mod, which I can't remember right now. As Ezekiel finishes the, well, woolly armor, Ezekiel puts it on himself as Ezekiel gives it to her as they're completely warmed up. And so they start trekking through the snow. Ezekiel is wearing large boots thanks to the help of like some leather and many other like materials. So, after going through the snow for a while now, they see weird looking houses as they see a large village, but it looks like it's run down, like it's a ghost town. As Ezekiel just says this, what happened here? As Ezekiel sees, well, something. It seems to be a statue? It looks like a statue, but it seems to be, well, it seems to have joints, like moving parts, almost like it was a robot or automaton. So, after Ezekiel looks around, Ezekiel sees a pillager, but not really. The skin color of this pillager seems to be a flesh tone instead of the usual like grayish tones of like their usual like pillager selves. As Ezekiel just says this, "Hey, Olga, do you know what happened here?" As she says this, "Yeah, I think those marauders, the illagers, I'm guessing they terrorized this place again. I'm guessing they raided the entire village." As Ezekiel just says this, "So they pillaged their village?" As she says this, "Yeah." Wait for a second. As Ezekiel looks around the entire village and sees some materials and also some seeds, Ezekiel finds melon seeds, which Ezekiel was confused because melons mostly you know um wait for a second, mostly get planted either in the summer or somewhere between like spring and kind of like autumn. So Ezekiel, after grabbing these seeds, Ezekiel hears from Olga this, "Hey Ezekiel, I found something." As Ezekiel just says this, "What is it?" As Ezekiel sees a uncompleted statue. As Ezekiel just says this, "What is that thing?" It looks like as Ezekiel touches the blocks that were basically like in a T shape and touches it, it's cold. As Ezekiel just says this, "Is this made out of pure iron?" As she says this, "Ezekiel, if you put like this pumpkin on there, like you can make a golem, a protector." As Ezekiel just says this, "Uh, are you crazy?" As she says this, "No, it's actually true. Just, just do it." As Ezekiel just says this, "Fine." So, Ezekiel puts this pumpkin on this T-shaped block, or like T-shaped iron thing. As Ezekiel puts that thing on, well, the pumpkin starts getting assimilated into the iron shape, you know, the iron T-shaped statue. As when it does, it transforms into a recognizable form. it resembles a woman. As Izuku, after seeing this, Izuku says this, "The hell?" As she looks over and sees Olga. Olga was kind of afraid, thinking that she's going to, like, fight them. But she doesn't. She looks over at Izuku as she bows down. As she doesn't say anything. As Izuku just this. "So, Olga, should I just give it a name?" As she says this. Sure. So, I don't really have an idea for the name of this, female golem, but just comment down below on this video. Just pick a name for the, golem. So, yeah, just go down below into the comments and just say the name for the golem, or you can just pick a random name in, like, a random, like, name generator or something. Just pick, okay? Good. So, after Izuku does that, Izuku decides to give it the name for now. This is the name for now. Just, X. So, after receiving that name, she goes up to Izuku as she, well, just carries him, like, literally, like, just, you know, grabs Izuku by the waist as she starts carrying Izuku like a cat. As Izuku just says this, "What are you doing?" As Olga says this, "I think she likes you?" As Izuku just says this, "You think?" As, well, she starts bringing all of his stuff as she starts carrying it all by herself. As Izuku just says this, "Whoa, she's actually pretty strong." As Izuku just, thinks about it and says this, "Wait a minute. I just realized." As Izuku just looks at her, as it turns out, she was nude. Or at least in terms of, like, things. Like, she looks exactly like a human woman. Including for the, let's just say, special stuff. As Izuku starts covering his eyes as Olga says this, "Okay, I should get some clothes for her." As she grabs some leftover armor from a blacksmith, which the blacksmith is gone. Let's just say that. Like, you know, the blacksmith's head is nearby and it's on a pike. It's all, like, the blacksmith's head and the rest of his family is on pikes as she grabs the armor and creates a suit of armor for the female golem, which, just pick a name in the comments, okay? So, after putting it on, the golem was given this brand new armor as she starts bringing all of the stuff that Izuku collected over the past, like, I guess months, I guess? But let's just say, like, a few days living in this world. And so, she grabs all of them as Izuku just says this. "So, is she basically just our," as she says, "Yeah, I guess you can say that she's like our, um, wait for a second, what do you call it? Bag girl or something like that." As Izuku just says this, "I guess you're right, Olga. So, let's get ready. Let's start going." As Izuku starts, grabbing some of his things, like his axe and his other stuff, as they started leaving. So, this will be the end of this episode. And so, before you leave, guys, well, this is going to be a bit of an explanation for my what if Deku, or not really my what if Deku, more like what if I was in My Hero Academia, what if. So, I've been planning this for a while now, and I'm completely excited for it. So, yeah, I want all of you guys to, like, comment down below in this video for the name of, like, the golem, because I don't really have a name for her. But also, I hope that all of you guys are excited for, like, for what if I was in My Hero Academia. Just comment down below, hashtag, like, hashtag I can't wait or something like that. I don't know. Just comment down below, like, you're excited for this, like, what if that I'm going to make tomorrow, being what if I was in My Hero Academia. And while you're down there, pick a name for the golem, like for example, giving the golem's name like I don't know, like um Marie or something. Just pick a name for the golem because I don't have a name right now. And so, I hope you liked the video. Comment, subscribe, and like the video so you can support my channel. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye!